President Trump then saying NATO and British troops in Afghanistan stayed a little back, a little off the front lines. You were there. Was that the case?
No, that weren't the case at all. In my experience, we were working alongside the Americans. I remember working with an American EOD team at the time in Afghanistan. We got on with each other, we respected each other, and we did the job that we had to do together.
Yeah, it certainly seems, doesn't it, that the view on the ground at the time very different from the president's view today.
Yeah, well, he clearly weren't there, was it? So, he can't experience what happened out on the ground. And obviously we were on the front line fighting. And I think it's very, very disrespectful of the comments he's come out with, and very hurtful and harmful as well to injured guys. And like you say, those who paid the ultimate sacrifice.
And of course, you were injured. Just tell us what happened to you.
Yeah, I went on a routine foot patrol on the 13th of October 2009. I stepped on an improvised explosive device, which then resulted in me losing 3 limbs. Luckily, they got me back to Camp Bastion, back to the UK. The nurses and surgeons did an amazing job. And I decided that I'm a survivor, not a victim. I'm still here. And like you say, some of my friends pay the ultimate sacrifice and are no longer with us. So out of respect for them, I push on. I think that's why this is so disrespectful to the people who didn't come back, and all the guys like myself who have been injured and are carrying on with the burden of those injuries, both mentally and physically.
Yeah, as you say, you've personally lived with the consequences for all these years and shown incredible courage. And when President Trump says we've never needed them, talking about NATO troops, soldiers such as yourself, I mean, what went through your mind?
Well, clearly they did need us because they had issued the Article 5, like we say. So when he says things like that, it does make you sit back and reflect and think, was the sacrifice I made worthwhile? Was I, am I still being thought of in the respect that what I did? So it's very harmful, and some guys, it could make them, and girls could make them take a massive step backwards, and it could really affect their mental health. As we know, a lot of people who served in Afghanistan, both in the UK and in America, have took their own lives since that conflict due to mental health problems, and this clearly won't help that situation.
The Duke of Sussex has spoken tonight. You will have heard his statement that I read out before we were chatting, saying that the sacrifices of British soldiers who served and died in Afghanistan deserve to be spoken about truthfully and with respect. Are you pleased that he's come out and said those comments tonight?
Yeah, it's great that he has come out because, like you say, he was there on the ground, on the front line, fighting alongside the soldiers, American and the UK soldiers as well. So I think he's adding a lot of weight to what we're talking about, and he was there at the time, and he understands the situation that a lot of the guys are in.
And clearly, the Prime Minister really angry about this as well. Do you feel he went far enough in condemning the words of the President and calling for an apology?
Yeah, I think so, yeah, and I think that's the right thing to do. And I think Donald Trump does need to issue an apology to all the wives, girlfriends, mums, dads, parents, sons, daughters who are still living with their sacrifices that have been made, and those who, like I say, have paid the ultimate sacrifice, which this will be absolutely shocking news for them this morning to wake up to. Would really put them on the back foot.
Yeah, I'm sure. I can understand that. And what about the President's stance and scepticism about NATO? Do you think there's some truth in that, or is that frustrating as well?
I think that's frustrating as well. We all help. I've seen some statistics today from the losses from each country that took part in that campaign, and every country that took part have made a loss and made a sacrifice. So, yeah, I don't know where he's got this information from. I don't know why he decided to come out and say this, but it's very offensive.
And Andy, how is life today? You've done some amazing charitable work and motivational speaking as well.
Yeah, I'm pushing on. I'm one of the. I accept what happens to me, and I'm moving on. I've climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. I'm doing the London Marathon this year in April, because out of respect for those people who have paid the ultimate sacrifice and are not here anymore. Out of respect for them, I want to show what can be achieved beyond injury and beyond disability.